Hey guys, how you doing? This is Daniel with Sons Land Services based out of Benton, Tennessee. Today I'm going to tell you about how I got started in the field of excavation. I had a job at Microsoft at the time, and I was commuting about 2 to 3 hours a day going to work, and I got laid off. At that point, I was wondering what I was going to do. I had a decent paying job and I wanted to produce the same amount of income. And I decided, you know what? I want to do something else. I want to do something that changes landscapes, that I can see a huge difference in people's lives and people's homes. And I just like, playing with equipment. I like running big toys. I've always liked it. So I decided to pick up my first excavator. My first excavator was a Kubota KX61-2 or 3. It was the pre-emission model. I've always been a kind of pre-emission guy. I think the EPA and all of the emission regulations that they have are very counterproductive in many different ways. So I wanted to get a pre-emission model. So I found a deal on Kubota KX61 and picked it up. I had never ran an excavator before. So literally I had the guy that I bought it from load it on the trailer for me, and I didn't know how to operate the thing. But I said, okay, cool, yeah, load it up, I'll bring it home. Of course, I had checked it, made sure that it wasn't leaking fluids, that it had compression, that it didn't have any blow-by, and all that kind of stuff. The hydraulic system seemed strong. And got it home, unloaded it, and started playing in my backyard. I had 5 acres at the time in Washington State, and most of it was undeveloped, and it was kind of hidden in the back. We had a very long and narrow piece of property, and I would take the excavator back there. No neighbors to disturb me or any city ordinances to, break or what have you. And I just played. I just had fun. I would knock over trees. I would move big boulders. I would do a brush fire. We would build these forts in the backyard out of like big telephone poles, and during the summer friends would come over, people would come over, and we'd have airsoft games in the back there, based on all the trails and stuff that we cleared. Just having the machine opened up a lot of things for me, a lot of freedoms that I didn't know that I really liked. I could now lift big heavy things. I could modify my property in ways that I couldn't in the past. I remember we built a compost bins out of the big ecology blocks. They're about 3,500 pounds a piece, and I was able to lift them over the blade of the excavator and stack them. And we had compost for our garden at the time. So it just kind of became part of my life, be part of what I had access to in my arsenal as far as tools are concerned. And once you have a machine like that, you never really want to go back. So I started picking up a few side jobs here and there, some for friends, some for family. Remember doing a gravel driveway, and I had a friend, I still have a friend, that had a wedding venue in Washington State, and he needed his entire front yard re-graveled. At the time I only had a mini excavator, so we got loads and loads with dump trailer, and we pushed it with the blade. That's when I blew my head gasket on my excavator, but it taught me a lesson, is that you want yourself a little skid steer if you're going to be moving a lot of material. So I did one job, a gravel job with the excavator, and then I started looking for a skid steer, because I knew that if I had a skid steer and a mini excavator, the scope of jobs that I could actually do would be a lot bigger. So eventually I got a skid steer as well, but just the combination is a really handy and nice combination to have. So moving forward a few years, we started doing small jobs here and there. We got ourselves established on Angie's List, which previously was called Home Advisor, and started getting some paid leads and that sort of stuff, mainly doing gravel driveways for people. Like, that was our thing. We'd go in there, we'd break up potholes, we'd grade it, we'd compact it or track it, and then we'd leave. In Washington State, there's a lot of greenery, and the soil is very fertile, so a lot of times people have these nice gravel driveways, but they're all overgrown with moss. So we would literally just break them up, clean them up, fill in the potholes, crisp up the edges, and then top coat it with gravel. And we would go in there and, we'd charge anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000, and we'd usually be in and out of there within a day to a couple of days. So it was a really good business. That started picking up and we started doing a lot more jobs. And it was at that point where I decided, you know what, we want to get out of Washington State. We no longer want to be in here in the state. Our property taxes had gone up significantly that year. We also had witnessed a lot of the regulations and things that happened with COVID. And Washington was really strict as far as a lot of lockdowns and a lot of kind of government overstep, in my opinion. And we were watching this church at the time called Jacob's Tent, and we were watching online. We were live streamers, and we decided that we wanted to move to Tennessee. So anyway, doors opened up in our personal life, which allowed us to put our home on the market and move our entire family to Tennessee. Now this is 2.5 years ago, and I was probably doing excavating for about a year and a half in Washington State. So we're going on, 4 to 5 years now being here in Tennessee. And I've just fell in love with the field. I just love what I do. I love transforming people's properties, taking something that was unusable and turning it into something that's beautiful and functional. We love just opening up people's properties so they can establish gardens, they can have more parking spots. If they want to build an addition on their home, we can do that. And it's nice being able to go in there and be a servant to people and just transform land. And that's really what drives me, is just going out there, helping people, using my tools, having fun, learning the business aspect of it, and just being a servant to the community. So that's my story. I'm Daniel with Sons Land Services, and if you have a project that you want to quote on, or you want even just an opinion on, I'd be happy to take your call or send you a message. All right, guys, that's all I had for this time. Hopefully this information was useful to you. Stay posted for more. Remember to like and share and subscribe.